when I think about the storyline or I try and explain it to someone, I'll be like, yeah, this guy, like, he's got a girl, but he has to get out of the house. It's like, wait, I need to read it again.
Just want to say what a year for both of you. 2 BAFTA Rising Star nominations, 2 BAFTA Best Actor nominations, and 2 nominations for that other award ceremony that's not as important as this one. Just want to start off right at the beginning, though. Kind of, it seems like that perhaps this is a breakout year for both of you, but there's been a lot of hard work for many years along the way. Did acting find you, or did you seek it out?
Yeah, it kind of found me. Yeah, I was being a... Can we swear? Can we swear? Are we allowed to swear?
Do whatever you want. Free space.
Yeah? All right, I was a shit. So I was a shit at school. So then so a teacher told my mum, like, you should get that out of your system. And then I did writing as a kid. So it was kind of like I just did stuff. And I was like, and then I had the opportunity at Anna Shares to do improv. And then I did that. And then I was like, oh, well, I like this. And then I saw people making money. I was like, what? So I was like, cool, let's try this. And then I just fell in love with it. So it kind of was just really natural.
Yeah, and I guess same for me in some ways. My mom had been an actress, and I had a grandfather who was a screenwriter. So I had done it a little bit growing up, but what really was the impetus for me was getting to a performing arts high school in New York called LaGuardia. And I remember being 13 on the first day of drama class, really falling in love with it and seeing how much fun it was. And, you know, the more seriously you took it, the better you got at it.
Daniel, I guess with a lot of the audience here, growing up here, we would have seen you on Skins, and also that was a training ground. Not
Bing.
Huh?
Oh, no, Bing is Black Mirror, right?
Black Mirror, yeah.
Sorry.
But we'll get to Black Mirror.
PK.
With Skins, a training ground not only as an actor, but also for you as a writer.
Yeah.
How did Skins come about?
I just kind of, like, my agent was funny. It's a funny dude. They were dodgy. And then, so I was like, well, I've got to do my own thing. And then, and I just started writing plays and acting in them and directing them at Heaton Light Theatre Company in Hampstead Theatre, which doesn't really exist anymore. And then Skins were looking for young writers. And so I got Skins. It was me, Dev, and Kaya were at the same open audition in Holloway. We was all there. And then they found us, just like we did that. And then I joined as a writer. And it was just that kind of, yeah, we was just doing, it was like people that went to the open audition were already doing it extracurricular, like doing extracurricular activities, so they were into it. So no one was really trying to get like, because it was an E4 show, like, E4 those times just showed Friends and Scrubs, like, it wasn't a serious channel, like, so we was just doing, like, we were just like, oh, there's this channel, like, we can do what we want. So, like, we just did what we wanted, and then it just became a thing out here.
What was your kind of first break into the world of acting?
You know, there's 2 that I keep in my head. One was a commercial I did when I was 10 years old for Disney, or Disneyland, I guess. So I went down to Florida to the theme park. And it's funny, they had 3 kids cast. There was like an American version, and I had to do the French-Canadian version. So that was my first dialect work. They had me memorize how to say, "What an awesome vacation," but with a Canadian accent in French. And the other one, as it is for a lot of actors in New York, The Mothership. It's Law & Order. That was like my first like real acting gig, and I got my throat slit. And then Anthony Anderson comes up to my body, and he's like, "That's a dead body." And so that was my first, yeah.
The first corpse.
First corpse.
So getting, obviously, to Get Out and Call Me By Your Name, both astonishing films, but both essentially small indies when they started out. Let's start with kind of Call Me By Your Name. How did you come on board to the project? And how long was it before it kind of even got to that stage of making it?
Yeah, well, I was 17 years old. I met with Luca Guadagnino for the first time. That's the director of the film. And that was really by luck of the universe. I mean, I didn't have the acting credits really yet to justify that kind of meeting. But my agent, Brian Swartstrom, represented Tilda Swinton, who's the lead of a lot of Luca's other movies. So when this project came around, I could kind of, I was presented for a meeting with him as someone that could maybe play this role. And Luca historically doesn't like to audition his actors, so he said, "You're attached," but it felt like, you know, hopefully this comes together, but that summer it didn't, the summer after it didn't, the summer after that it didn't too, so I thought, you know, I don't know if this is ever gonna happen. But then when I was 20 years old, in like the span of months, it really rapidly came together, and I was thankful it took like that amount of time. I think if I did it when I was 17 or 18, well, I don't know if I could have done it at 17. I don't know if it would have been legal to do it at 17. But like if I, you know, doing it later, just having a couple more years of experience, being able to be a little bit more calm. Like Daniel and I did an interview a couple months ago, and I'm like very proud to be up here right now. I'm not like bouncing all over the place because the first time we did it together, I was like all tense. So.
This was part of that interview as well, was before kind of both of these films had been, no, Get Out had been released, but I don't think Call Me By Your Name had been released at that point. Playing Elio, he is kind of a Renaissance teenager in a way. What was your research process into him? Did you read the book and also kind of, you don't remember the 80s, but your experience of being a teenager in the 80s, it's so nuanced in particular, which you know is captured so well. Right. How did you go about doing it?
Well, yeah, like you said, it's the book. The book becomes like a Bible of sorts, and for those that have read the book, it's fiercely from the point of view of Elio. So there's just so much to pull from, and there's a lot of background information. And then, as you pointed out too, there's a lot of piano playing, and I had to learn Italian for that too. So there was about a month and a half, 2 months of a background research going into it, and then when it comes time to do it, you just try to let that all go and do the best job you can.
Get Out. Jordan Peele's script, when it first came to you, kind of, what was it like on paper? In terms of trying to make it genre specific, it's not. I would say it's like magical realism with a bit of horror, with a thriller, like an exploration of race relations. Did that all come out at you on the page straight away, or were you like, I'm not quite sure what this is?
No, it did. It did. It was all there. Like, it's just, for me, I kind of read scripts and go, do I feel like the writer knows it? I mean, and that's my thing. It's like, you kind of don't really need to know the details, because do they know the world? Does it speak to, because I've got good friends around me that are good bullshit detectives, like when they watch films. So they're like, no, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. So I always see scripts from their angle. Go, does it make sense? And if it makes sense, that means they've done the work. So I kind of felt like, and then it just spoke to me, because I've been a black man at that party. So it's it was just, and there was elements that were surreal, but because he knew the world, it didn't matter. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's grounded, but it's just otherworldly things like brain surgeries and stuff like that. So it was I knew he did the work, and it just tapped into something, and it was like unapologetic, which I find really exciting.
Were you kind of, was there ever a hesitation of taking on the role, or did you, from reading it, going, I know this is the person I want to play, Chris, I want to do this role, or was there kind of a level of nervousness kind of jumping into it?
I knew Jordan was going to get in trouble. Like, I was like, you're going to get in trouble. Like, I like trouble, man. I was like, that's what we're here for, no? Like, let's fuck shit up, man. Like, I kind of like, cool, if at least I'm going to go down doing something I believe in. If it goes wrong, because anything can go wrong. And so it's just about stuff that if I believe in it, then I can stand by that. Do you know what I'm saying? And I go, because that's the script that could go wrong in the wrong hands. I mean, and so there was just that. So I read it. I remember but there were moments of doubts. I'm like, when I really wanted it, or when I got it, I'd read it again. And I go, am I crazy? Like, when I think about the storyline, or I try and explain it to someone, I'd be like, yeah, this guy, like, he's got a girl, but he has to get out of a house. It's like, wait, I need to read it again. Like, I read it like 4 times before I even started shooting, like, before we started rehearsing. And then I was like, oh, yeah, no, it's all right. No, I like it. I still like it. So it was a lot of that, but I think that's normal. I think anything that because I'm putting my face on something. Same with like you're putting yourself out there, so you have to be doubly sure about. But usually the first decision is the right one, and then just the world comes in and compromises you.
I thought it was fascinating when you said that Jordan really wanted to cast you, but the only thing he was nervous about was that you weren't American and that you were British.
Yeah, so it was that, there was a lot of that kind of like, because I think in America they don't really know about stuff that happens outside of America. So I'm about to say, I'm getting in trouble for that. It's going to be a long week. But so basically, like, he didn't know the Black British experience. So, because a lot of people don't. I think a lot of people in England don't. So then he just asked me a couple of questions. I was like, yeah, I know what's happening.